guys, welcome back to Hashtag Quirky. I hope everyone is getting enough bored in their quarantine. So I wanted it to be actually, there's this YouTuber called named Jessethereader. I'll link his channel in the description. He's one of the funniest YouTuber out there. So he has this playlist, I guess, which is called Books in Bed. So I really wanted to film this video in my bed where I read most of my books and not this decked up. But then this is quarantine, guys. So I'm saying it in a way as if it's something to be celebrated. But yeah, I did feel like decking up a little. So because I decked up a little, I thought bed wouldn't be the perfect setup for it. So here I am in my beanbag. I do read quite a lot here as well. So yes, getting to the video, this video it's been long since I filmed a book video and I was dying for it. I had read quite some, guys, quite some. So here's, I'm going to be talking about my recent reads, the current reads, and also I think there's two here which I do think that I am going to read. Okay, so 2 or 3 books, like the current reads, I'm going to finish up the current reads. So once I'm done with the current reads, I will start reading all of these things that I want to read. So it's like kind of what I have read, what I'm reading, and what I will be reading. So I have around 17 books here, long as intro, and the video is going to be pretty long, I'm pretty sure about it. So yeah, without any further blabbering, let's get into the video. The point is that I will try to speak as less as possible about each and every book. So but there's 17 books, so yeah, it's still going to be long, just pardon me for it. I hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, let's get started. I also do want to put in a few informations. I think I have a review of one of the books from here. I will link it in the description box. I also have talked about some of the books here in my December TBR. So it's like a continuing TBR. It's not that I have just read all these books. I think I talked about 6 books in my December TBR. So obviously I ended up reading more than that. So yeah, I'll link that video in the description box below. And also I'll start with my Kindle books which I read in the meanwhile. First up is the Sherlock Holmes collection, this book. Now I read 2 cases from here which are A Study in Scarlet and The Sign of 4. So I have just finished reading these 2 adventures. Then there's a hell lot of more books here, but yes, I just read these 2. Now I don't think that it's possible. I cannot, okay, like I cannot finish the whole Sherlock Holmes series in one sitting, because I would need time to, like, you know, grasp the information and everything. So in reading individual stories, I think do count here. So yeah, this is the first 2 stories, I guess, that are from Sherlock Holmes. Okay, so next up is also from my Kindle. It's called Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. Now honestly, this, I hope you can see, this book is very much priced in Amazon, so I had to get it in Kindle. I think in Amazon the paperback costs for around 750 or 800 bucks, but Kindle, it took me around 350 or something. I love the book. It's about this Korean family who shifts to Japan during World War, and it's a story about generations and like a family that the story expands 3 or 4 generations, I guess, and how immigrant people deal with their identity and their cultures and a lot of different other stuff during such hard times. It's one of my most favorite reads of this year, I guess, and I really like the book. Okay, so once done with Kindle, I have around a lot of books here. I'll jump quickly into it. The first one is The Little Prince by Anthony de Saint-Exupery. I think that's how you pronounce it. I didn't butcher it. So okay, so I didn't read this book years ago. I don't know why, because I now feel that every child out there should be reading this book. This is what I'm talking about. It's like about this kid who seems to be from another planet, and the narrator, it's a beautiful story. Okay, I don't know how I can explain this. The narrator meets this kid when the narrator has his personal plane, I think, crashed down, and it's about their conversations and the journey of this kid from that particular planet to this one. And it's so beautiful. If you haven't given this a read, then it's I am pretty sure going to be one of my all-time favorite things that I've ever read. Very beautifully written, very beautiful messages in it. It inspires your imagination to a completely different extent. And if you are someone who likes to bring out messages from a particular type of narration, which is molded in a different language, then this is something that you should and must go for, also because it's a classic and you should read classics. Okay, so next is Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Now I think, again, I wish I didn't butcher this name, because we never know what we end up butchering. Okay, so this is a slow paced book. Okay, it's not the fastest, and it deals with this man and an African clans of people, what their rituals had been, how life had been with them before colonization happened there. But it's a book that you will question in both the sides. Okay, the rituals, there are some rituals, some what do we say, some culture, quote unquote, that you don't relate to staying up in 21st century. But I wouldn't suggest this to the beginners, because it's really not a very fast book. You need to sit back and you need to take your time reading this. I wouldn't say that I loved the book, but yes, I understand why it is very important. It's like you go up to Google and you write African books, this is one of the very first books that come up, I guess. And I know why I can understand why this comes up. But if you are not a lot into serious or heavy reading, then I don't think you're going to enjoy this. I whatsoever am somewhere in between with this. So next up is How I Became a Farmer's Wife by Yashodhara Laal. This is the book. I like the color of the book so much, and it's actually a nice cover. So this is about a couple, mainly the writer herself and her husband, and how the husband wishes to grow up a farm of his, and he wishes to shift there, and how he doesn't like his corporate life, and he so much wishes that he starts being a farmer. It's just about all of that. They have, I think, 3 children, a pair of twins and a daughter, and it's about the writer's aspirations too, and how they kind of deal with the whole situation. Yeah, I would probably give, I think, given around 2.5 or a 2 to this book, because it's not the best. But again, if you are into very light-headed reads, then you might actually enjoy this. But I didn't feel that it had a very good story also, and there's no, like, at some point of time you feel that the plot is just moving for the sake of it. Okay, so the next book is a trilogy, and I finished the first book of the trilogy, which is Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials, and I finished Northern Lights. This is the book. It's a thick-ass book actually, but it has all of the 3 books in this one. The Northern Lights, The Subtle Knife, and Amber Spyglass. Now, it's actually a science fiction, if I'm not wrong, but it's like this journey of this little girl who is in like this world where so these worlds, they have a demon. So the protagonist has a demon, and she has an uncle, and she is like, she doesn't have parents, so she's like living in this university where the uncle is like a head. I have read this, I think, 1.5 months ago, and then I read quite a lot of stuff, so I can't really remember what the plot actually was, but I remember really enjoying it pretty much. There's like this another world that has opened up through the Northern Lights, and it has magical elements in it. It has science fiction elements. There's like this bear that protects this little girl. It's interesting, okay. And I do want to finish up the other two parts, but then I know that by the end of the because I really liked how the first book ended, so by the end of the second book I wouldn't be able to read anything else but the third book. So I'm giving it some time before I start with the second book. So next up is this one, The Story of a Long Distance Marriage by Siddesh Imandar. This is how the book looks. Now, I have mixed feelings about the book. This is about the story of this couple where the woman goes abroad to study further while the man stays back, about a married couple. So the name, The Story of a Long Distance Marriage. I have actually again mixed feelings about it, given the fact that I just felt that the writer is contradictory to himself at certain point of times. Though I understood what he's kind of trying to put out there through the story, but I didn't feel that his message was strong enough in the plot. I felt that he's speaking in different ways, trying to put one particular narrative. Okay, so the next book is Nemat Siddharth's The Carpet Weaver. This is about this boy called Kanishk Nurzada. I remember Kanishk, I didn't remember the surname. And he's a Kuni. Kuni, if you don't know, is like a name for gay men. This is a derogatory term, by the way. So, no offense. But yes, he's a homosexual boy living in Afghanistan during the times of war, and how his life changes throughout this whole situation. But I just feel that the cover is very deceptive of the story. Like in the cover, it feels like this is a gay love story, but it really isn't that. It's more like, Suvmangal Zyada Savdhan, where you really don't think that the movie is... I didn't think that the movie was bomb-blastingly good, or like it was super, but yes, I couldn't stop, appreciating enough that this topic had been made into a mainstream Bollywood movie. So, which I shouldn't be appreciating. Like, it's not something that you have to appreciate. It should be so normal. But it's not so dealt with. That's why we have to appreciate stuff like this. So, yes, like, I mean, making movies like so, or talking about homosexual love in books, it's like, it shouldn't be something that is like, oh, they did that, so you have to appreciate. It should be very normal, but it's not that normal in the society. So we kind of fall like towards the fact that, oh, finally they did that, let's appreciate it. It's like that. So this is kind of that book. I understand the topic and I understand how sensitive it can be, because deals with the Muslim community and Afghanistan as a place in general, and how gay men are dealing with their sexuality there. But I really didn't like the story overall. I'm sorry, but I didn't. Go buy it yourself. It's not that costly too. It tells 600. I got it for 325 or something, the hardcover. So yes, go and buy it there. I think you can speak for yourself. I'm thinking of doing a particular separate review on this. Do let me know if you want that. I couldn't help but blabber on the book because I had so much expectations from the book, and it didn't get fulfilled, honestly. The next book is Stephen Chbosky, Perks of Being a Wallflower. Yes, I didn't read it. Being the reader I am, I didn't. I did like the book. I wouldn't say I loved the book, but yes, I did like the book very much. And see, this is the difference that I'm saying. There's also a gay character, homosexual character here, but it doesn't feel like that, and it has his story here too, but it doesn't really feel like that the writer is trying to make him homosexual for the sake of a homosexual character. This felt a little like that to me, that he is trying too hard to tell a story of a homosexual person. However, this the protagonist here is not homosexual. The protagonist here, that is Charlie, he suffers from social anxiety and he has problem making friends in his high school, and he meets this pair of brothers and sisters. I forgot their name. Wow. Yeah, so Sam and Patrick, right? So it's about just his acceptance towards a lot of things. And you know, if you have seen Filter Copy's Adulting, then you know what adulting is. It's about him becoming an adult, I just felt. And it's very beautifully written, I can't deny that. And I loved the ending of the book. It's so, like, it has a very deep meaning, I felt. And yes, again, if you want to start with books, then do give it a try. You are not going to get disappointed. I did like this book. So next up is Fire on the Mountains by Anita Desai. This is a book, I have done a review of this book. I will link the book, I'll link the review somewhere in the description box. This is a story about this woman and his great granddaughter, and how they form a connection, and how the woman finally realizes it's a nice one actually. But again, I like things fall apart. I understand that why is this such a nice story, but it's a very slow read. People who have problem with their attention span for the time being, don't start with this. It's really a very slow read. So the next book, I loved the next book so much. This is called Death Under the Deodas, The Adventures of Miss Ripley Bean by Ruskin Bond. This is how the book looks like. Now this is a collection of short stories, thriller short stories, and the, like, really short. Can you see the font? Can you see the font? It's really short. It has a collection of, I think, 8 short stories, and it takes place in this beautiful you know, hotel in Dehradun, and there's this woman who lives in the hotel because it was her land or something, I don't remember. So yes, Miss Ripley Bean is the woman, and she has, like, she's there in all the stories, so it's like that. And she either narrates them or she has faced them. It's like that. And I read, given the author, I haven't still now found a book that I didn't like at all of this person. I love this man so much. And if you're looking for books to gift to children, do go for this. It's really nice. If you are also looking for a light read, then do go for this. Okay, so we are down to the last 3 books that I have finished reading. The first one is Daisy Johnson's Everything Under. First up, can we take a moment and please appreciate this thing right here? It's so beautiful and aesthetic. Now this is again a mother-daughter story. This is about this woman called Gretel whose mother left her at the age of 16, and she starts searching for her, and she remembers that again, I would have to say that it is said here that they discover a language of their own. I understand how she has beautifully, okay, like beautiful as pancakes almost, how she has beautifully linked language, past experiences, our lives. It's so beautiful, but the language that they discover isn't much talked about in here. But I think telling anything more about the book would be a spoiler because it's so beautiful. It was unputdownable, and I just love the book. It's probably going to be, if I have to choose, it's going to be my number 2 recommendation from all of this. Like, it's so nice. And by the end, if you are a student of literature, then you are familiar with other literatures too, and by the end of this book you will be like, you know, you'll be stunned. It's so beautiful. I highly recommend this. Next up is Everything by Nicola Yoon. So much talked about the book. I watched the movie and I read the book too. Again, it's nice. I wouldn't say it's bad. It is nice. but it's not the best one that I have read, I think. I love the narrative of this. Somewhere she's just narrating, somewhere she's just writing the journal, somewhere the texts. It's pretty nice in that way, and I did like the ending. Honestly, I wouldn't say that I was shocked by the end, and in that case I would say that this is a nice book. I would probably give it around 2.5 again. But yes, I did like the book, and it's an easy read. If you're looking for light reads, then again go for this. Before I tell you the last book that I have finished reading, it's not the best book that I have read out there, but it is definitely going to be one of my favorites forever. I loved the book. That's why it's down here. They were not in particular order, but I wanted to save this one for the last. I know that the story of this one is not the most well plotted, I think, well plotted, but okay, I'll just speak for it. The book is called Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Can you see this that I have done? What I've done to this? It's like I have filled the book with sticky notes because I freaking fudging loved this book. If you haven't read Turtles All the Way Down, guys, you're going to love this so much. It's about this girl called Aza, however. She suffers from OCD and she has this identity problems. I think she also suffers from anxiety, very bad anxiety, and the book says that it's about how she and her friend, they put up a search for a missing billionaire, but it's really not about that. She falls in love with the billionaire's son though, but I just feel it's a plot that probably would have been skipped. Doesn't even matter to me, but the book is so freaking beautifully written, guys. I can't even explain. Just go ahead, read the book, and I know that there are certain parts where you will be like, this is not the best, but then when you're done with the whole reading, you will be like, this is one of the best that I have read. I haven't seen anyone till date telling that they didn't like the book. So they didn't like certain aspects of it, I understand, but mostly there's everyone who did enjoy the book. Just go and give it a read and you won't regret it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video, and smash like on the video, and then comment down under what more videos you want to see or about books or anything. And yes, I just wanted to tell you people about all of these that I have been reading, and I have, like, I think I heaved right now. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye.